Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific. This is Marisa Fletcher here on our Power Partners United weekly call hosted by the Women of Power. I am here with my wonderful co-hosts, Cynthia, Isela, and Krista Lynn. We all say good morning to you guys. Good morning. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again this week. So we are going to kick off our meeting. And for those of us that are new to the meeting, what we like to do is we always like to start out our meeting with inspiration, with sharing, with positivity. So we want to talk about wins. I have some examples on a slide in front of us. You can grab any of those wins or you can make up your own. I already see some hands going up. Thank you for our guests that join us here every single week. If you could jump off mute and share your win, we'll call you out and let you talk. So Barry, I see your hand up, and then Tracy, I see your hand up. So why don't you two start off this morning? Go ahead.
Yeah, and watch out for my jiggling face on the Zoom because it's always, getting stuck or doing the shakes. I don't know what the heck is going on lately, but it's really annoying. And I have a presentation today at 11:30 in the morning, and that's what's going to end up happening, just like that. So I'm not happy about that, not very professional. On the bright side is I received notice today that inspection is taking place on an installation that was completed two days ago. So that's happy news. Also got notice, from the e-wallet that money has been deposited. This was mentored by the super talented Cynthia Alvidrez. So I'm sure she got the same messages as well, and I'm very grateful for her help on that project. That's the project that I mentioned, I think, last week. This is a customer that was a former colleague of mine in my former life for about 20 years. So we know each other very well, and she trusted me, and of course now with Cynthia as well, to do this job for her. So I'm looking forward to getting PTO on it, and I'm sure she'll love that in the summertime.
Good job. Thank you, Barry. I know that job was a long time coming. It was just one of those that took a very long time at every single stage. We even had like a roof leak and we had to send a roofer out to fix it before install. And so lots of obstacles, but we pushed through them very professionally and just kept moving along. So nice teamwork. Thanks, Barry.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you guys for that. Miss Tracy?
Yeah, I have been trying to do a lot of social media posting and things like that. And at the end of last week, somebody that I know reached out to me and said, my mom wants to get solar. Here's her utility bill. Let's do this. So I have a meeting, a presentation scheduled for tomorrow at 4. So I love it when people reach out to me and say, hey, I need solar, or somebody I know needs solar, versus me always bugging everybody individually about it. So social media posts are starting to work.
Awesome. Thanks for that share.
That's my buddy from Sunrun, by the way, Tracy. So we go back a little ways.
Yep.
Nice. That's an awesome win with the social media post works. And like you said, someone reaching out to you saying, hey, I need to go solar. Amazing, beautiful. Thank you for that share. Isela, what you got for us?
Hello, everyone. Happy to have you all here to join us. I just wanted to share, it's interesting when you start your journey and the people closest to you are just kind of watching and waiting. And so I had one of my girlfriends in my circle reach out to me. Hey, was trying to research solar. Can you give us a quote? So excited to be able to share that with them. And then also, I had a firefighter that went solar with me. So what I did is I arranged a schedule. I took the crew lunch. So I got a little pack, Jersey Mike's, like little lunches or whatever, took them lunch, and I got 3 leads from there, just casual conversation. They asked me questions. They're like, oh, you're the solar energy queen, because I came out in their magazine and stuff. So just really excited. If I can't even tell you, first responders are amazing clients and customers. go to your local fire station, police station, drop off some information. I also wanted to share that I created an NEM 3.0 flyer. So excited to have this and, you know, start handing it out. And so I just wanted to share that with all of you and just, again, let everybody know what you're doing because there's somebody out there that needs you.
Amazing. Beautiful message, right? They need us to educate them and help them, right? Go solar. I see another hand up right before Chris. I'm going to just share a win or some wins that I've been noticing. And I know that some other people on the call have noticed, but I signed a couple contracts this week. And what I'm noticing and loving is that as soon as the client signs, Powur has definitely stepped up their game. They're automatically getting their client intake form done. They're getting the site surveys done in a day or two if it's not done virtually. I signed someone, I think we signed Julie on Monday. Yeah, Monday. Today is Thursday. We already have our design plans, our unstamped design plans ready. So, I mean, the win that I'm experiencing this week is just all the improvements that Powur as a company has made. They've been hearing us out in the field and they've been implementing the action, and I'm seeing the action and the steps that they're taking to get our installs done a lot faster. So I hope you guys are getting those wins as well. All right, so let's see. I see Chrysalyn and then I see Denise's hand. So Chrysalyn, you're up. You got the floor.
Awesome. Thanks, Marissa. So just wanted to kind of share, as you all know, I was out of town the last 10 days, but the awesome part about being part of Powur is that we have a platform where we can work anywhere. So while I was in the beautiful island of Hawaii, I was able to do a presentation. And during my stay there, I got a few texts and phone calls and got referrals from past clients. So it's just super amazing, even being on vacation, that we still get referrals and being able to get presentations done. So we're in the right place at the right time, ladies. Love this platform. So just wanted to share that.
Yes, yes, yes. That time freedom. Awesome. Amazing. Thank you for the share, Chrysalyn. Hope you enjoyed your trip. I know you did in Hawaii. Denise, you want to share with us?
Yes.
You're on mute. There you go.
Okay. Hi, I'm excited that I have a new consultant on my team and 2 new ambassadors and a promise for a bill. So it's coming along. And my new consultant is on the call right now. Her name is Nancy.
Welcome, Nancy. Welcome to Powur. Welcome to the call. Congratulations, Denise, on growing the team and helping others help families share and save by going solar. So congratulations. Great job. How long have you been with us, Denise? How long have you been with Powur?
Since August.
That's amazing. Great job. Great job.
Thank you.
I see Sandra just popped in. Sandra, you got your hand up. Floor is yours.
I do. Yesterday, I had a realtor refer her new homeowner to us, and so I'm going to have an opportunity to work with Cynthia Vidres tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Awesome. You guys are going to do well. You're going to help that homeowner. And how'd you meet this realtor? How'd you find this realtor find you to introduce their homeowner, if you don't mind sharing? Oh, you're on mute. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, my daughter reached out to her probably over a year ago to sign up as an ambassador, but she never did. And so she actually had a homeowner who had had a meeting with another realtor. And so she thought about my daughter and she said, "Oh, you're still doing solar, right?" And so she referred her over to me. And so we had a great conversation yesterday, and we have an appointment scheduled for tomorrow.
Amazing. And that's just by talking about solar, getting the word out, not giving up. You talked to her over a year ago, and now look, a year later, and now you've gotten a referral.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Great job, ladies. Great job. And gentlemen that all gave testimonials, that all wanted to share. I think we have room for maybe one more before we get into this amazing training. Are there any hands up? I don't think I see any. All right, you guys can always come back next week and share your wins and your inspiration with us. We love hearing about them. So thank you, everyone. We are going to get into, right before we get into the next part of our meeting, we want you to grab a screenshot of this and make sure that you mark your calendars for some trainings that are on the calendar that are coming up. These trainings are going to help you grow your business and take it to the next level. You've got trainings on Monday with JC Rangel. It's a team training that happens every week. Of course, Monday evening, Power Hour at 5 p.m. Sometimes it's in Spanish, sometimes it's in English, but you're invited to all of them. And then also this Monday coming up, we have our, what do we call that, Cynthia? It's our career week. That's what it's called. We have our career week coming up with Power, where we take 3 days out of the week and focus on individual industries, the solar industry, the real estate and lending industry, and then also the home services industry. So if you guys know anyone in these professions, you definitely want to invite them out to Career Week. You can invite other solar professionals on Monday. The Power Hour will be geared toward solar professionals, towards them. On Tuesday is going to be for the home services professionals at 5 p.m. There's the link right there. And then on Wednesday is the real estate group. Okay. Also on Tuesdays, you have your power hitters and solar warrior training, Jonathan Bernasso team. That's at 10 a.m. They also do office hours right afterwards from 11 to 12. That's where you jump on and ask questions about deals and files. You have in-phase training. And then again, like I said, the home services power hour. Wednesdays, we have our breakthrough masterminds. We also have TPO third-party owned workshop trainings, and that's hosted by Rachel McDonald at 10 a.m. So if you're currently working on a lease or a third-party owned product, that's where you're going to go to ask specific questions about that file. We also have market development on Wednesday. If you're working in the Southern California market, you want to jump on that market development call at 3 p.m. And then again, the real estate and mortgage professionals power hour is Wednesday at 5. Thursday, come back for Solar Edge. Obviously, we're here, Women of Power, at 10 a.m. every single week on Thursdays. We host office hours right after this meeting. You can jump on and talk to mentors and ask specific questions, not necessarily file specific, but just about solar, about, things that we can help you in general. And then also there is Power On, that's hosted by corporate. If you need to learn how to use the platform or you're newer to the platform, you might want to jump on that Power On. It's at 5 p.m. on Thursday. Friday, we have home run financing training from 11 to 12. Again, there is another office hours session. It's during that same time as that home run financing. So if you're not working with home run at this present time, jump on the office hours. It's with Chris Bernasso, again, to ask questions to top mentors in the company. And then building with Bobby every Friday at 9. Always really, really great trainings. Please take a screenshot, jump onto some of these. The more you learn, the more you earn. And Power's here to provide all the learning and that we need so that we can earn and have a great income potential for our businesses. Okay, without further ado, this week, our training is on Sunnova, a third-party option that we have here with Power. We've been getting a lot of questions about leases lately. With the upcoming Net Metering 3.0, there's just a ton of questions about leases and how those can benefit our clients, leases and PPAs. So Jay Balatbat, fortunately, I don't have his photo here, but we're about to see him. Jay Balatbat is here with Sunnova. Hi, Jay.
Hi, thanks for having me, you guys.
Of course. Thank you for being here. So Jay is our direct contact with Sunnova for Power. He's here to help us work through our Sunnova deals. If you've got questions about the platform, getting certified, he's got a really, really great training. So please grab your pens and paper, your notepads. He's got a really great training on third-party options on leases. And so at this present time, I'm going to let Jay go ahead and take over the screen, and I'm going to be quiet and let him do his thing and teach us about Sunnova and what we have to offer here with Power and Sunnova. Thanks for being here, Jay.
Hey, thanks for having me, you guys. So yeah, really exciting stuff going on with Power. I've been doing these trainings more often with various groups, and I just got to say, the energy you guys bring, the whole ethos and the culture that's really been established amongst these different groups that I've seen is just amazing to see. And I'm definitely privileged to be here. I really appreciate the opportunity to kind of speak with you guys. I know my time is limited, so I'm going to kind of focus on some really important parts. And then at the end, because this is recorded, I'm actually going to do like a walkthrough of the current workaround whenever Solo is giving you an error. I think that can provide tremendous value for everyone here on the call. And the fact that you can reference back to it, is going to help as well. But right now, the screen that I have pulled up, this is, I have zoomed in. This is our contact numbers, important phone numbers for you guys to have. I like to start off here because, we have to be as resourceful as possible, right? So dealer support here, you can always contact them. They're like an extension of me, right? You guys are, Powur is this huge, robust company with 9,000 plus reps. And so sometimes I'm not always able to help right away. Dealer support is like just another version of me and can essentially assist you in most ways that I can. There are some things that I need to do specifically, but their number is listed there. If you're with a customer and you went through contract signing and you need to do that validation call, that phone number is available there as well. Online validation is a huge resource, guys. You could do it real quick. It's 3 minutes. They don't have to talk to anybody over the phone. And so some of our top reps are utilizing online verification. It seems to be helping a lot. Anything customer facing, so system, is producing power, glasses on roof, they're going to reach out to customer care. So for you, dealer support, for any reps, it's dealer support. For any customers, customer care. And then of course, me as your account manager, any questions you guys have, I try to be as available as possible. I think I've worked with a few of you already, so it's nice to kind of see you guys here. Let me move on. Any questions there? I know it's just kind of quick phone numbers. Okay, so what I wanted to, so I'm doing some house cleaning items here real quick. This is the homepage of the Sunnova Hub. Sunnova.zift1.com will allow you to get to this screen here where you'll be able to find training on specific things in our sales platform. So you just go to training, go to sales. And for example, all the decks that I'm going to go through here in just a bit, they're all just pulled from the hub. And this is live information. So it's constantly updating with new tools and resources. So definitely want you guys to get familiar with this portion of our website as well. All right, let's hop into it. So for all of our products, real quick, I'm going to talk about what we look for in a home, what we look for in a homeowner. And I'm going to kind of breeze through this because it should be familiar for most. I'm assuming everyone in here has Sunnova access, is a tier 2 seller. And if not, you can go through certification with Powur University and get that sorted. I'm happy to get you guys activated as soon as possible. Oops. I can figure out how to work my computer. Here we go. Sorry, guys. So what are we looking for in a home? Single family home, duplex, triplex, townhomes, condos, residential, farm, or agricultural land is okay. Pretty basic stuff, again, as I've mentioned. Multifamily housing, nothing greater than 4 units. So we are able to service some of those houses like in LA County, for example, if you're selling in California, seems to be pretty popular out there. Commercial, we do have a commercial branch, a commercial arm within Sunnova, but not worth discussing because it really doesn't apply to kind of how you guys operate in our relationship with Powur. What we're looking for in a homeowner, any individual, S Corps are okay, C Corps, LLCs. If it's in a trust, no problem. If the property's in a life estate, no problem. What we do ask for is that you be proactive, right? We will need the trust documents ahead of time. So if you know the property's in a trust, try to get that from the homeowner right away. Life estate, same thing. Any documents that'll prove kind of, hey, this is where the property is in, this is who's, kind of listed as a trustee in this case, or who's in charge of that property so that we can get the correct signers. So we will need that. It'll be a time saver if you get that ahead of time. So they got to pass credit, looking for residential, the signers on the title. If the signer doesn't qualify for credit, they can have a co-signer and we'll have 2 signers on there, but the person on the title will need to be on the contract as well. And then we need to contract validation. So you could go through the whole thing, signed, they love it, they love you, the vibe is good. But if you don't do that contract validation, it really doesn't matter, right? And the moment you leave the home, and if you haven't already done that, the chances of them doing it on their own, it kind of starts to diminish. So we want to be sure we're checking off all the boxes when we're with the homeowner, either on the phone virtually or obviously in the home. Some basic eligibility stuff. So no bankruptcies for the last 7 years, no derogatory accounts, a greater than 199 TEC score. TEC score refers to, like, do they pay their monthly bills on time? Your cell phone bill, your electric bill, things like that. They do look at that. 650 or higher is usually that score, that kind of threshold that we are for what we look for. And we're not actually doing any debt to income verification. We don't need proof of, their job. We don't need pay stubs or anything like that. I'm breezing through this. If there's any questions, feel free to just drop in, let me know. We can take questions at the end too. Again, does not affect, so we're not looking for a debt to income for the credit application. We just need the completed credit form, their date of birth, and usually their SSN is best, but you'll see that it's not always required. If for whatever reason you get a pushback when you're running credit, like it's coming back as frozen or manual request needed or credit request sent, and it's been a while, you can always call into dealer support, that number that I posted at the beginning, and they'll do a manual check with the homeowner over the phone. That's usually a bulletproof way to get it done. So contract validation, we did talk about this. You can either call into the line, have the customer call into the line. We will eventually call them if we haven't heard from them. We will kind of chase them down to try to get this done for you. We want to, obviously, we're on your team, so we want to be sure we're doing our part to help out. But it's best for them to call in right away, or you could do it online. I'm not going to spend too much time here. Basically, you need to register yourself as well as a seller. I could walk you through this process, maybe off the call, because I do want to spend the best of our time here where I think it's going to help us most. But we get you registered. The customer goes on to mysunnova.com. They enter their system ID, and they go through the process of kind of registering themselves. And your picture, when you registered yourself, comes up. Hey, is this your solar rep? They confirm that way as well. This online process takes like 2 minutes. They don't have to speak to someone over the phone. Most people are using online validation to get that done. And this just goes a little bit into further detail as to what to expect there. And as I'm switching slides, any questions? Cool. All right, so assume they qualify.
Jay,
Yeah.
I do have a question. I was on mute. Can you go back 2 slides? I wasn't able to keep up with you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I know I was breezing.
One more.
So not the last one. Let me just.
That one. Simple steps. That just stay with that for a minute, if you would, while you're answering questions.
Of course. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely, no problem. And again, this is all available in the resource hub. So if you guys need to go back to it, I'll be sure to drop a few links.
Sure. Okay.
That you guys can access that.
And then the next screen, if you would, and then I'm good. Thank you for backpedaling.
Is this one here?
Yeah, that one.
Sure.
And once I'll just copy it and, okay, copied now. Thank you.
Of course, no problem. All right, so assuming they qualify, what can you offer them? We offer batteries, of course, solar systems alone. We also have, EV chargers, generators. The list goes on in terms of other add-on loans that we have, but let's talk about the main products. So what sets us apart from the Sunruns and the other, solar companies out there is that, well, one, with you guys, we're not just a lender, okay? Mosaic, Greenleaf, these are lenders. We are taking ownership of this relationship with the customer for the next 25 years. So our processes are a little bit more stringent, and that due diligence is really, we really pay attention to that for the sake of you guys, the rep, us, the company, and the customer as well. It's for everyone's kind of best interest. But for the next 25 years, what are we offering? We're monitoring the system. We're diagnosing any issues, maintenance, liability, limited liability. I'm kind of just going down the list here. Repairs, replacements. It's on our insurance policy if it's a TPO product. So it does not go on the homeowner's insurance, for example, on a TPO. We have system coverage and energy guarantees. roof penetration warranty is 10 years. That's the industry standard there. But the coverage for the next 25 years, the energy guarantee, and if this system has a battery, the battery guarantee as well, is one of our biggest selling points. And I think that, especially with NEM3 coming in, it's no longer saving money, right? And now it's about reliable power. Well, this is going to come hand in hand with that reliability conversation, right? You want to be able to offer the homeowner as much as possible, as much coverage as possible. And this is right out the gate, bumper to bumper. You don't have to worry about, adding any additional power protection plans to get this, for example. Okay, we have leases, PPAs, and of course, our traditional loan options as well. We'll go through each one individually here in just a second, but you can see the main difference between TPO product and the loan product is the insurance thing. So it's on the homeowner's insurance when you own the system, right? Just like anything else. But that is your system, it is your insurance. Some people do prefer that. That's mainly the only difference between the three, though, obviously outside of ownership, of course. So let's get into the PPA options. So equipment lease, you're leasing the equipment. It's flat monthly bill based on the cost of the equipment. There is no buyout option right now on a lease, which I think is the reason why it makes it less favorable than a PPA, because a PPA, you are able to buy that out after year 5. We'll get to that here in just a sec. But 25-year system coverage, there's an energy guarantee. Roofing is a gray area with Powur, you guys, but I will say, just because it's on here, no roof replacements on a lease, because again, they're paying for the equipment cost. But you do have that option in a loan. Of course, you would bake that cost into the cost of the project, and we're getting a little into the weeds there. So we also offer batteries. So you can do a lease with a battery, or you can purchase with a battery. There are right now no PPAs with batteries. And I might be throwing terms out there, might be going over some people's heads, but just to kind of try to keep it simple, in a lease, you can add a battery to that. And when you're buying the system, you can add a battery to that as well. But if PPA is in the conversation, no batteries at the moment with that. So equipment lease, what are some of the highlights with this? Steady monthly payments. You can add an escalator, either 0% or it can increase annually by 2.9%. Just keep in mind, we pay more for higher escalators, right? The EPC does get in more in your favor with an escalator included in that project. We own it, we provide insurance on it, 25-year protection platinum. Again, the production guarantee, the battery, all of that is covered under this. The energy guarantee, again, I mentioned there is no buyout option for a lease, okay? And you'll see here ACH is required for that $15 discount there. PPA EZ, this is the most popular TPO product that we have. It's the identical product almost to Sunrun's lease. So if you're up against another quote, then this is probably more than likely the product that you're going to be looking at. What we're doing is it's a power purchase agreement. So we're agreeing to a steady fixed solar rate and monthly payment, right? So every month for the next 25 years, your payment is $200 a month for power. Of course, assuming you picked a 0% escalator. And we do have the protection here, the energy guarantee. You have the option to buy this system at year 5. So let's talk about that real quick. When I was selling, I never really sold a loan. Maybe because of where I was working, that's kind of how they teach you, but loans just weren't really in my game. And for some of you, you could probably say the complete opposite. You've only sold loans, never sold a PPA. But the logic here with this PPA, and you're talking with a homeowner that is fixed on ownership, right? They want to own the system. I get it, that's fine. What happens is you could buy that system right now in ownership for, let's say it's $50,000. But in a PPA, you don't have to take out a loan. Your DTI is not affected. You don't have to take on this, assume this $50,000 debt, right, to save money on your power bill. It doesn't really make sense. You can opt in for a PPA for the same system, same production, same power. And then at the year 5 mark, if they want to buy it, if they're really fixed on ownership, what we do is we take fair market value of that system at year 5, we appraise it. And there is no used market for solar. So what they're doing is they're kind of indirectly giving themselves a discount on that same system. So what they would have paid $50,000 for on day 1, they are paying maybe $25,000, $30,000 in year 5, right? So it's a great way to kind of, hey, if you want ownership, you could still get it. This is a way to get you into solar, saving money right away, and you can kind of make that decision, you know, down the line if it still suits you to do that, right? Next is PPA Flex. This is 100% upfront payment for their power. This is the largest savings that a customer will receive when they're talking about solar. I believe it's 25% off of that total system production cost is that discount. So they're getting like a 25% off discount than what they would pay for that stretch of the 25 years. Okay. Any questions on TPO? I'm sure there's going to be a lot. Don't be shy. I am available offline as well. Always feel free to shoot me an email. I could go through this with you again, but I think we can all agree. Let's get to the good stuff. So you're in Solo and you're trying to select Sunnova as the product and you get an error. I'm sure as many of us who have tried to do this in Solo, including myself, we can all agree that this happens more often than not. Okay, so what I'm going to show you right now is how do we take the information from Solo's design, transfer it to the Sunnova hub as the workaround, generate a proposal, get a quote out, get them to do credit verification, all of the nuts and bolts of the situation, right? So let me know if you need me to stop, if you have any questions here, but let's assume that I created this lead in Powur, put together the design, as you can see here, and I'm ready to go. This is my system design on Solo, right? I make sure that this is a cash proposal. I do not want to select Sunnova here. At this point, Solo's so spotty in how it's kind of just working with our API, and we are addressing it. We're hoping that it works as smooth as being able to select any other option. But as of right now, this workaround that I'm going to go through is the most bulletproof way to get yourself a proposal. And if you're against the clock and you got an appointment coming up and Solo's acting up and I've forwarded a ticket, you know, this is going to be the best way to get that. Okay. So I have my cash proposal here. I'm logged in my Sunnova portal with somebody else here, of course. So we need to create a new lead. So I'm going to start from the beginning. All right. Enter the address. It may not drop the pin on the home right away, right? So what I need to do is find the home. I think it's way up here somewhere. Oops. Sorry, with the one screen, it's kind of hard to navigate. So give me one second. Go. This is a really nice home. This is not my home. This is just a test home. But so we're going to make sure that the pin is dropped on the correct home, as you see there. We're going to select a solar system because we are putting together a solar system. I'm going to continue. So here's where you would edit the app. So I entered the address. It's incorrect. Give me 1 second here. It's 14065. Okay. Continue. You can continue. I assume that's correct. I'm not going to spend too much time. Test. We're going to enter the person's information that is going to be signing the contract. your point of contact. Save and continue. All right, so now I need to enter the energy usage details. So this home I know is in Southern California Edison, SCE land. They are on domestic time of use. The annual increase for the utility is probably greater than 2.9%. So I always like to select the highest. This is going to show more savings for the customer as well. And let's just say my annual usage is 12,000. There are different regions or territories. Doesn't necessarily matter, but I do believe this is in region 10, so no worries there. Save and continue. Pretty straightforward stuff. So again, I've created the solo cash proposal. Now I'm in Sunnova creating the lead. So I entered the home information, I entered the customer's information and their usage details. Now I need a design. So I'm going to create new design. I'm going to provide my own design. And now I'm going to, let's see if I could split screens here. All right. So I need to get off of this cash proposal, the system details, which you'll see here on the left, right? So for example, I know that I used Hanwha Q cells, 400s. Can't see. There it is. Pop-up system details. So you can see here that it's going to list 6 arrays, but really there's only 2. Only the array number 2 and array number 4 have modules on it, right? So really there's only 2 arrays that we're going to be working with. So for this first array, Hanwha Q cells 400s, there's 9 modules here, right? The inverter is, I can see back here, SolarEdge SE600. So we're going to do SolarEdge 6000, excuse me. Just one inverter there. There's only one racking type that you guys use. You want to keep them the same if you're using SolarEdge inverters. Obviously, SolarEdge monitor should just be that one option there. And now we're at tilt, azimuth, and solar availability. So you're going to click on system details, and Solar is going to give you this exact information, right? So tilt is 25, azimuth is 167, and solar availability is going to be the inverse of shade, right? So here it's shading is 5%, solar availability would be 95. Okay, that's one array. As I mentioned, there's 2 here, so I'm going to add an additional array. It's going to automatically populate the panels that I selected. I need to change the quantity of these panels to 10. Again, unirack, so on and so forth. And this azimuth is 78. Tilt on this is still 25. And shading is, or a solar availability is 99%. So now I've directly transferred the information from Solo to Sunnova. Everything looks good, only these 2 arrays. In this particular example, there's no battery, but if you were to add a battery in your project, this is where you would add that, and I can talk about that here in a second, but I'm going to save this design. So I've created a lead. Now I've created a design for that lead. Now we need to create a quote for this lead, right? So there's a few different ways that you can go about creating. I mean, obviously it depends on the product, right? But you'll see here that you can do either the lease, the loan, the PPA, or the PPA easy. You might not have all 4 buttons available depending on the location of the customer, what's offered in that utility, what state it's in. There are some variables there. There are some utilities that don't work with PPAs or leases, and you can only do a loan. And so that might be the reason why you may only see one or two or not all four of these options available. But because of where this is located, all four products are available. I'm going to say let's do it as a PPA EZ. PPA EZ. The difference between PPA and PPA EZ. PPA EZ, remember, is the most popular product. It's fixed monthly payments, right? $200 every month for the next 25 years. PPA, Power Purchase Agreement, is a fixed solar rate, but you're paying based off of the system production, right? So in the summertime, you might be paying $200 because you have a ton of sun. In the wintertime, you might be paying $100 because you get snow. You got harsh winters. So your payments will fluctuate. PPAs are usually more popular with that fluctuating payment, where people do experience winters. That's where I would kind of use that more. All right. So I'm doing PPA EZ. There's a few ways that you can go about selecting here under PV pricing method. I usually will select dealer EPC per watt. And the reason why I do that is because when you go into Solo's pricing, it gives you the final price per watt here. It's a direct translation. So dealer EPC per watt and final price per watt is $3.75. Okay. Don't worry about rebates here. Don't worry about escalator here unless you are going to include that. If you would just either do a 0, 1.9, 2.9, etc. But for the sake of our conversation here now, again, no add-ons to this particular example. Let's run pricing. Do. Okay. So here we go. This project, right? Again, total final EPC per watt was $3.75. You'll see here on the right, this is a monthly Sunnova payment of $166. Gives you the system production. Your solar rate here in this particular example is 17 cents. And that's in comparison to SoCal Edison's utility rate of 33 cents. So you guys, I just saved this customer 50% off their power bill. I mean, it's kind of an easy sell. Now, if I wanted to, if this makes sense, you can see here, again, this is gonna be that 25-year PPA EZ. I'm gonna add to the save list. I'm gonna save one quote. So now this is in the system, it's in the books. I can officially work with this particular quote. But before I do, I wanna show you guys a couple of different options. So let's say, as I'm figuring out, before I'm with the customer, I'm trying to figure out what product I think is best to offer them. I am selecting PPA-Z, but let's say I want to see what a loan looks like, right? So I'm going to select loan. I'm going to select, let's do like a 3.99. As the APR increases, the dealer fee decreases, right? So you want to kind of be aware of that. Obviously, 2.99 is probably going to be what you're going to sell most, but that dealer fee is the highest. I'm just going to say, let's say 3.99 dealer EPC per watt. And what I want us to take note of is I'm using the same $3.75, right? But what my system is going to do here now when I run pricing is it's going to add the dealer fee. So, and it actually might give me an error because it might be too much, but let's see. Oh, perfect. Good. So this is my 25-year loan. You can see I entered $3.17, but really that final price per watt, including the dealer fee, is $5.28. Okay. This is at 3.99. Their monthly Sunnova payment is still it's only $148.14. The solar rate's a little bit less at 15. Again, 50% off this person's bill. It's kind of a no-brainer, but why would someone take out a $40,000 loan when they could get the same power and nearly the same payment? It's a little bit more here in this example But it's just, I mean, some homeowners are interested in that. I get it. But in my head, it's just like, I would rather remain $40,000 liquid. I want to be able to, maximize my DTI, and having a $40,000 loan on there just kind of doesn't make sense for some people. Now let's go ahead and add this to the list as well. You'll notice I'm doing this two-step thing. You got to add it to the save list, and then you have to save one quote here at the bottom. If you don't do that, it will not save. Just a side note. So get that to save. Let's say we want to do the PPA EZ. I'll select go to quote. And so it's going to give me the system design up here, array 1, array 2. It's going to give me all the details to the quote itself. Now, this is where I can verify credit. So if the customer, is ready to go, they want to verify credit, you would select that here. By selecting generate proposal, you can either download the proposal to your computer, or you can email a draft of the proposal to the customer. It'll have the draft watermark all over it. It's not something that they actually sign, okay? When they are ready to sign though, once this loads up, and I'll kind of show you what that proposal looks like. But once they are ready to sign, you would click on this review and sign contract button on the bottom right. The email dropdown, when you click on that, will send them a DocuSign, and that's something that they do sign. They can do it on their phone. Once they sign, it goes automatically to Powur's countersigner. And this is how Powur becomes aware of this project. Because remember, we just did this whole thing in Sunnova, right? So how does Powur know? Well, once they sign, they're aware of the system ID. They upload all the project that they need to do on their end in the Powur platform. And you're able to then just business as usual in Powur. You have the utility bill, upload that in Powur. You have trust documents, upload that in Powur, right? Sunnova was really just to create the proposal, create the documents for signature, and that's all you have to worry about. This is what the customer would get. So this is customer facing. It's a breakdown of the system, obviously going all through the next 25 years, so on and so forth. It's about 27 pages or so, it says up here. 51, sorry, double. So that's what they would be signing, okay? I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna talk about just some like one-offs real quick, and then I could take some questions. Let's say the lead person did not pass credit. You're like, shoot, I need to get that. There's a homeowner, or she's married, or he's married, they want to co-sign. Okay, cool. Well, you don't have to call me or dealer services to add somebody to the contract, okay? What you got to do is you got to go into contact information here on the left menu. You're going to add that person's information, test, Adri, test, j@gmail.com. And 91347. I'm going to make sure I'm adding this person to the contract. Billing address is the same as the service address. Save. So now I've just added another person to the contact list, right? So original person did not pass credit. Okay, no problem. Let me just add the next person that's willing to co-sign. And now when I go to credit verification, in this dropdown, you should be able to select the new person that you added, and then you can send them the email verification, okay? They'll both be signers on this contract, but that's essentially how you would get around, or how you would add a co-signer to the deal. And that's pretty much it. If you got through this whole process and you've signed the documents where it says review and sign contracts, sorry, let me get to where I was just at. Like I said, the customer signs, Powur signs, and you guys are good to go. You just signed a Sunnova deal. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Jay. I do have a couple questions if you don't mind.
I don't. Yeah. What's up?
Okay, great. So first, I just wanted to clarify, when a lot of our lenders, when we add a co-applicant, it's only to help with more income. to battle DTI. So with Sunnova, adding a co-applicant, does that help with FICO if the main person doesn't have qualifying FICO?
Yeah, 100%. So because let's say, for example, you're trying to qualify them for a TPO. We're not looking at their DTI at all, right? We're not looking at their income at all. So it's strictly that FICO. You're bringing in another person with a higher FICO score that can qualify. We're looking for someone with above a 650.
I'm sorry, what's TPO?
Third party owned products. So PPAs or leases.
Got it. Thank you. And one more question. What is the why behind not being able to add a battery to a PPA product? Do you know? I'm just curious.
Well, it's really just kind of where that is on the horizon.
Okay.
It's just something that we have, it's got to go, bankability, it's got to go through multiple hands before we can activate that product. As we're talking, it's not available. The word on the street is by end of Q1, we will have a PPA with battery available.
That's great, because I think that's what we're all looking forward to, especially with NEM 3.0 coming. And just to clarify, just to make sure I understood, if we're having trouble plugging in a Sunnova lead in through Solo and we're not getting the pricing, we just take the cash price, we plug it in under dealer EPC, plug in the price per watt, and that should give us the correct price?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So when you're in Solo, you're taking, sorry, where is it? What we're taking is this final price per watt, because this number is going to include all of the adders and everything else that you guys have already included, right? So all of those adders, including your margin, right, is all added, and it gives you this final price per watt. Now, what you could also do is, like, this is a cash project, and you can see right here, 28,487. You could also do, customer price, enter as a PPA. You can, sorry, give me 1 second. You could enter that entire amount, that 28,000, whatever. The reason why I'm a little shaky with that is because you got to be sure that this 375 and the final price per watt really matches. It's most important when you're talking about a loan because of the dealer fee. But as you can see here, if I do this, what was it? 28,487. It's just another way of displaying the information. Either option is going to get you to the same location. I just like to do that final price per watt. It just makes me feel good because that's a number that's directly translated from Solo.
Got it. So it's just a more reliable way. And then just for the recording, one thing that I think a lot of people may have gone over our heads maybe is explaining how you capture solar availability, because it doesn't show up in Solo as solar availability. So can you explain that conversion?
Yeah, of course. Sorry. So in Solo, under system details, it's giving us what we're looking for is the azimuth, the tilt, and the shade, right? So in Solo here, it's saying the shade is 5%. In Sunnova's hub, we're not asking shade, we're asking solar availability, right? So it would be the inverse of that. And I already created the design, but if I were to create a new design, so it's solar availability. So if in Solo it's 5% shading, then solar availability is the opposite. It's 95% available, right?
Perfect. Thank you.
No problem.
I have a couple of questions as well.
Sure.
I saw in your slides where you said you cannot do roofs with PPAs or leases. You can you explain the caveat to if someone needs to, if it's a clay tile project maybe, and they got to include a roof adder? What's the caveat with Sunnova?
So the way that Powur, and I'm going to move because I need to get my charger here. The way that Powur is structured is you guys use subcontractors for all of your work. And our requirements for roofing are kind of stringent. Like we need certain licenses and stuff that that we can't always get from all of the subcontractors. So there's a workaround, and I'm kind of treading softly here because well, so the workaround is you have to bake the cost of the roof into the price of the loan or into the PPA cost, right? And all we care about is that final number. If you're charging, $6 per watt, our cap is $7 per watt. But if you're charging $7 per watt and you're just showing us that it's just for a PV system, that's all we care about. But on your end, if that $7 per watt includes a roof, then Powur, my understanding, is willing to, service that, and they kind of do what they need to do there to get the roof completed. We're just looking at the loan docs for us, for example, and we're not really concerned about what's included in that per se, right? And I know that's kind of still going over some heads, but the reason why it can be tricky is because of that $7 cap. So in a loan, if they need a whole new roof and the cost for the solar system alone is $4 per watt, plus the 38% dealer fee, now we're at $5 or $6 per watt, you could see that there's not a lot of room for a roof, right? With this particular model, with how we're working it now. So your best bet is to kind of bake that cost into a PPA, into a lease. And the reason is because there are no dealer fees there. So theoretically, you have more room in a PPA to add that roofing cost and still be in that $7 per watt tolerance. Okay, so again, sales support at powur.com will tell you you can't do a roof with Sunnova. And really, I should be saying, yeah, you can't really do a roof with Sunnova either, because it's not really structured the way that it should be. But we're also not in business to turn away business. And if you're able to make that fit and work within that cap, then by all means.
Perfect.
I've got a question regarding this roof thing is very popular. So how do we know logistically when we're doing all of this, whether a roof or a partial roof or a comp inlay, any of that is necessary right from the get-go? I know in Powur, we can do a roof check after they sign an agreement and, decide whether later on they have to change, get a change order and all of that stuff. How does that work on a lease or a PPA?
Well, so, the whole roofing conversation, unless the customer knows they need a roof, right? Like it wouldn't happen until after the site survey.
Right.
So, I think that I have a lot of reps asking about the roofing thing prior to site survey even being completed. I think because they know it's going to need it, I guess.
Well, let's say you don't know, because let's say it's 15 years old, the roof has never leaked, and they're not sure whether they need a roof or not.
Right. Now, assuming a site survey is completed and they do need a roof, it comes back and it says, hey, X amount of square feet needs to be replacing, or it needs new sheathing, or whatever it may be. Then obviously you're going to have to include that cost. Like I was saying, bake it into the cost of the system project with us. But if that cost exceeds more than $7 per watt, then, unfortunately, I don't know if we're going to be the right lender for that.
Right. Well, what's the procedure then, if it does come back that way and you have to bake it into the cost when you've already done it?
Well,
I got to here because I think this is not really a Sunnova question. This is more like a logistics question. So Jay's not really it. So the process is just that we find another lender that's able to fit in the roof. If you initially sell them on a PPA or a lease, a product that we don't want to roll roofing into, then you would have to switch them to a purchase product. And hopefully they qualify under another lender. So you could try them with Sunnova first on a loan. $7 is hard to squeeze in a roof.
It is.
But not impossible at all. So yeah, that's more of a sales type of question, right? Like we would just pivot to another product. And you might have a situation where, it's half cash, half finance. So that happens sometimes where you're just not going to know until after the site survey.
Right, right.
They might have to do the roof outside of the lease or PPA too. That's a possibility.
I do have two quick questions. One, do we still sign the power contract, the solar closing docs? I don't think so, right?
No, so my understanding is with other lenders, there's like 2 documents that you have to sign, right? So it's Power's documents and then whatever the lender's documents are. When it's Sunnova, it's just the Sunnova paper. Once they sign it.
Just a quick reminder, everybody out there that takes a tier 2 certification and you go through Sunnova process, don't forget you need your HIC license in order to sell with Sunnova. It doesn't matter if you already took your, the onboarding for that or get certified with Sunnova, you still need your license. So Jay and I went through that recently with the mentee. They had to put me again on the deal. But anyway, so, and then the last one is when customers say, what happens at 25 years with the lease with the equipment?
So there's 4 things that can happen. They could either buy the system out at whatever that fair market value is at 25 years. They could have the system removed at no cost. They could continue with their current system like on a month-to-month basis, essentially, if they wanted to just continue it on. Or the 4th one is they can have it removed and upgrade to a new system at that point. But they have those 4 options available too.
Is that on the lease too, or just the PPA?
Yep. It's on all. It's at the end of any 25-year TPO.
Awesome.
I have a quick question. What happens with Sunnova? I'm certified, but I need a refresher on this. What happens if, like, I'm dealing with older people where they may want to give the house over to their kids when they pass away, or they want to sell the house and the lease isn't completed or the PPA isn't completed? What happens?
Right. We have a transfers guarantee. Right, so in a TPO product, we guarantee that the new homeowners would be able to assume the contract from that point forward. They just have to pass credit, and if they're buying a home, typically they'll pass credit. But that's probably easier, in my opinion, than having an open loan on a project. Like if they were to own the system, they haven't paid off that loan, because now we're talking about a chunk of money that either the homeowner needs to pay off or the new homeowner needs to pay off, or you got to figure that out somewhere, right? Where this is, hey, like it's just you're locked in with a power agreement. You just assume the contract moving forward.
Nice.
And is no mechanical liens or anything on the house?
We do not put any liens on the home.
Okay. Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you guys so much for the participation. Thank you, Jay, for being here. I hate to kind of cut you off, but this was so good. We're already up against the hour, and I know you've got a really, really busy schedule. I promised you that I'd get you out of here on time.
No worries.
Thank you so much. Anyone else on the call, please stick around for office hours. But to wrap up our training for today, please make sure to drop your email in the Women of Power, your email and name in the chat. We'll make sure you're included in the Women of Power newsletter. It will include this video, this training. You will get that by Friday. So it will include this training. All of the other trainings that we've done are on there. And that was a great reference, Jay. If you haven't done a Sunnova deal before, it used to be so difficult, so kind of complicated. You just broke it down in like a little 15-minute segment that literally we can watch the video, enter our lead, and we can move on. So thank you for that. We appreciate you. We always like to end with the closing quote. If knowledge is power, learning is your superpower. And that's by Jim Quick. On that note, I am going to stop the recording.
All right, you guys. It was so nice being here. Thank you, everyone, so much. I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you for everything. Sure.
Thank you for taking the time to watch the Women of Power training series. I hope that you got some great value out of that video. And there's much, much more where that came from. Listen, if you'd like to join Powur or find out more about this awesome and amazing platform, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is in the description. I look forward to connecting with you real soon. Have a great day.